something's wrong. Okay, something's wrong. I think I got it. Good afternoon, Patriots. Somehow, another stream got opened in another window, and I was doubling up. How is everyone doing today? We got the echo taken care of. It was not a sick RP78 remix. Mom, I love you. Hello. Hello to all my mods. Welcome to another edition of Quarantime. Looking forward to this one. I've got my custom-built tomahawk on the wall of my bunker. Can't wait to show you guys. Our favorite Anon is just posted. Very interesting. He keeps choosing to do it just as soon as we're going on the air. I do appreciate it. I hope everyone's having a lovely day. I appreciate all of you. And I appreciate your ability to persevere through the challenges of life. Thank you, Navy Vet. We'll get into that in a moment. I want to ask everyone to please sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, and we'll be right back after a brief word from our sponsor. Stephen King once wrote, "Panic is highly contagious, especially in situations when nothing is known and everything is in flux." Well, the world we live in today is in flux, and it's filled with a flood of information that's often as much gossip as fact. Now, that makes it hard to know what the situation really is, and it also makes it easy for people to panic and make bad decisions. The only way not to get caught up in that chaos is to have a plan allowing you to avoid dealing with empty store shelves, long lines, and in the worst case, desperate people. Use today to prepare. A great place to start is storing food in your home, and I'm prepared myself, and I even ordered more recently. Now, the experts at My Patriot Supply have told me that orders have now reached about 100 times the normal volume, and they're shipping on a first-come, first-served basis. With this unprecedented emergency, orders are being delayed, sometimes 8 weeks or more. I urge you to add your order to mine today, because the sooner you order, the sooner you can get your purchase. Take action so you're ready for what's coming and save $70 on a 2-week emergency food kit when you go to my special website, preparewithredpill78.com. Those that know what's coming are preparing today. Go to preparewithredpill78.com. Once again, that's preparewithredpill78.com. And remember, when you support my sponsors, you support this channel. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Quarantime. As always, I am your host, RP, and joining me, as always, is my co-host and good friend, M3. Methods, how are you, buddy?
Doing good, man. How are you doing today?
I'm feeling all right. You know, I take a look around at the world, I see what's happening, and I just have to laugh sometimes. I know that these are difficult times, guys, but you have to allow yourself to sit back and look with a certain level of detached, viewpoint. Because, as I've always said, there are so many things out there that we can't control. However, the people of Lansing, Michigan are taking back some control of their state, and I gotta say, it's a beautiful thing. We're gonna be talking about that. We're gonna be talking about a lot of different things, and as I said in the introduction, our favorite Anon has started posting already just as soon as we're going on the air. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, 17. Let me just give a couple of quick thank yous. Navy Vet says, "What up? Jason Q set up an Open Up Nevada in protest in Sizzliac. We'll take pictures and get them over to you." Jason, our friend Jason, I love him. He is, if there's ever been a patriot who's primed for civil disobedience, I'd say it would be him.
Yeah.
Ken Libson said, 17 be postin'. EO2 Dave says, "It's time to open up again. We have been trained how to mitigate germs during a biowar. If sick, stay home. Not sick, wash your hands, put on a mask, and go to work. HCQ is coming to a doctor near you." That's right. It's on its way. I feel that anybody that I have read about that's taken this has been completely relieved of all their symptoms, and they're good as gold. So that's awesome news. D. Martinez says, great job. Thank you, D. Gaffer Anon says, Richard Painter Keck. Thank you very much.
I don't think you know what that is.
I don't know what it means. I don't know what it means. I'm assuming it's a sports reference.
No, it was something that happened on Twitter. There was, one of those lefties that were out there complaining.
Oh.
And his name's Richard Painter, so I called him what the nickname for Richard is.
I get it.
So, we'll keep going, Brian.
Okay, it's a family show, but go to Twitter, you can check it out. Behold a Pale Horse, my good friend Dana, what's up, brother? He says, saw a UFO last night, sending you an email. Yes, I want to see that. I do want to see that. Red Pills Warhawk says, bro, the Hawks look dope. Look, you guys, look. Red Pills Warhawk made me... there's only one in real life, but I thought how cool it would be if I had matching ones across from each other. I even made one that's like, an X, but I wanted to see how this one worked out. I didn't want people to think that he had sent me 4. But listen, I saw the first tomahawk that he made for one of our viewers, Hey Jude. It is so cool, you guys. I'm telling you, if there's ever anything that you do in your life that you're going to be thanking yourself for, it's going to be having my brother here produce a custom tomahawk for you, because this guy is an artisan. You need to check him out. Viper Pilot 1967 says, love you, Red Pill and Methods. I'm happy I finally got to be here live on my day off. Viper Pilot, we are so excited that you're here too. Asking for prayers for my family. I lost my dear aunt Monday morning. We are in this together. Where we go one, we go all. Please offer up prayers for Viper Pilot's aunt. I'm so sorry to hear that. And I know that on a daily basis, we are losing people, but we are here together. We're here for each other. You guys, we got to stick together, because that's how we're going to stay strong. That's how we're going to stay united. And that's how we're going to break through and take over, this war that we are on the verge of winning. Linda Clower says 10. Thank you, Linda. But I appreciate it. Just in case anybody doesn't know, because I see this often, if you're on mobile and you want to change the amount of your super chat donation, there's like a slider. You slide it back and forth. It doesn't matter to me, but I just want people to know, because that way you can put a message in there and then I'll go ahead and read it. So I do appreciate it. So let's talk methods about...
Well, let's say hey to White Hat real quick. He's in the chat.
Ooh, yeah,
our buddy White Hat. And I guess we could go ahead and talk about the news with him, huh?
Yeah, most definitely.
So this Friday here on Quarantime, our buddy White Hat's going to come hang out with us for the full hour and just chat about whatever's going on. So we're excited about it.
Yeah, definitely tell your friends. White Hat will be here Friday. I'm super stoked for it. Every time White Hat's on the program, it's always a good time. I love you, brother. Thanks for joining us again. I appreciate you taking time out of your day, because I know you're out there saving the world. SoCali Conservative, thank you for that. Popcorn. And B.A. Parth says, I swear that our favorite Anon starts posting as soon as you guys come online. I have noticed as well. It's definitely something that seems to be a pattern of behavior. And I don't... Methods did... I mean, this has... I don't know how many times this has happened before, that it seems like that he's posting with this regularity at a certain time. Have you ever noticed something like that? I mean, I've seen many different times, but it seems like this is happening on a regular basis now.
I mean, there's been phases and stuff like that. I'm sure people can line it up, but I remember in the beginning, it was a lot of during the middle of the night, at least here in America. It was during those times. But yeah, it's been literally right before the show or during it. I'm not going to try to make the correlation if people want to, by any means. But it is cool, because then we get to cover it and learn with everybody, and see what he's talking about. And I'm kind of tracking it right now on a screen, and I like what he's talking about. He, she, whatever, talking about. So yeah, they,
them.
Don't just get triggered about it if you don't like what I said. Yeah, I like what they're talking about. Do we just want to go ahead and start with these?
Yeah, I think that's the best thing.
I mean, there's enough people in the chat are bringing it up. We might as well go for it.
Yeah, why don't give us a preview, though, about what's taking place on the board right now. I mean, there's an attack underway.
Right. I mean, anybody that's listening that's been on 8kun over like the last, week or so, there's been massive amounts of lag. Obviously, since the buildup and 8kun being built to be stronger than to handle things better than 8chan before, it's able to hold it a lot better, but there's tons of lag. You're having issues with captchas loading and all that stuff. And so that's been going on. Well, then there was a massive hit specifically this morning. And you could just watch it go from loading like 10 to 20 posts to loading like 2. that are just getting through, and everybody's having to move over to what it's called like going to a Tor browser. It's a different way to get through the back door into 8kun. That's the simplest way to put it, and you're having to post that way, which actually it gets brought up in a queue reply, so we'll be able to explain it better.
All right. I just want to say, Salah in the chat says, I know someone who has a personal contact who assures me that 17 is legit and he listens to you all the time. Thank you out there, whoever you are, for watching. And I would have to say, there are many people who I think can legitimately verify through their own experience in, say, something like, certain position in government, who would say that this phenomenon of our favorite Anon is legit. I know that I believe it, not only because of that, but because of the proofs that I've seen come to pass over the time that they've been posting. So thank you, whoever you are watching the show, anybody out there in the government protecting us on a daily basis. I thank you for your service. It means a lot. Need to say thank you to Marzi D. Finally made it on time for your great show. Marzi, I'm glad you're here. This is a perfect time to ask all of the people in the audience to please consider liking and sharing this broadcast on your favorite social media platform. I know that for many people, all of you here, this has become your daily reprieve from the rigors of life on the inside, and anything we can do to help other people get a little bit of peace and quiet during the midday so that they can escape from everything taking place in the world. Please help us out, get the word out. Let's see. Navy Vet says, holy ish, it's coming. Malik Obama tweets and see what 17 just said. We're going to talk about that in a moment. I don't see it yet, but Carl Erickson, thank you for that. Chris Hawkins says, all right, White Hat on Friday, Nasara and Gassara, look it up. Very cool info. Chris, we're like maybe 2 weeks away from having a Nasara show here on the platform. Cool Flame says, hi, RP, been thinking. Many people are nervous to hit like as it will tag them to these so-called, seaspiracies. Truth is, you're already all in. We need likes, shares, whatever you can do to spread truth. It's a big deal. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I just want to say, if the people who own this platform already know that you're watching this video, it's not going to hurt to go ahead and give a like. And I also thought last night I was talking with Real Red Pill Girlfriend. She said some people might not even know that they have to have a Gmail account to create a YouTube account so then they can even like you in the first place. So I'm just going to put it out there. If you don't know that, you do have to have a Gmail. Then you can go ahead and sign into to YouTube. And I know that many people are worried about privacy concerns. If you do use, say, a fake identity to create a Gmail account, just make sure you write it down, because they're going to ask you your supposed birth date and all that information later on if you ever need to get back into your account. Then our Cloaked Unseen World says, our favorite Anon's real name is inventor John Quincy St. Clair. Nikola Tesla was a nature-taught man, so am I. I have a Tesla-like mind, have real proof, real evidence of who our favorite Anon is through video evidence and research. Well, our Cloaked Unseen World, I encourage you to email me at redpill78@protonmail.com and send that evidence over, and I would love to go ahead and analyze it. All right, let's talk about the posts. So we ended last night at 7:09 p.m. and 49 seconds with a post from Twitter from Dr. Tedros, and then a definition of the topic of Shiva, because in the image on Dr. Tedros's Twitter, it looks to me to be a meeting at the WHO, and there is a large statue of Shiva at the head of the table. Now, that will look familiar to anyone who has seen that insane video from CERN, where they have a big statue of Shiva, which looks identical to this outside, and they had a very strange ritual that they did in the middle of the night with a mock sacrifice and people in what appeared to be maybe druidic robes. Very strange stuff. But, Shiva is the goddess of death. It means a lot of other things, but one of the characteristics of Shiva is the gray color of her skin, which is derived from the ashes of the dead. Kind of a strange thing for the WHO to be focusing on. And the post itself says symbolism, an informed, awake public holds all the keys. Now, today at 1:47 p.m.
Before you move on to that, go ahead and grab that tweet from Hive that I sent you, because it's just an interesting interesting connection to it. And yeah, I know that we're kind of jumping quickly over the the stuff about Shiva. I mean, it's just an hour show. Maybe sometime we'll go on to a deep dive. I have to actually brush up on it because when they did that whole ceremony, I remember just going way deep on it to understand it because it was so creepy and obviously demonic. But with that said, if you don't mind pulling up that Hive tweet. All right, cool. Yeah, it was interesting find. Shout out to the boys that found it, Hive. And I don't know if he was working with TikTok, but they got it regardless. And you've got, Obama standing in the exact same position as the Shiva statue. And it's for them to use that symbolism and stuff like that. I mean, it just kind of lets you know how intertwined this evil can be.
Also, calling him the god of all things, kind of strange. So this was Newsweek from November 22nd, 2010. President Barry Obama on the cover, God of All Things. Laura Hillenbrand, Unbroken, National Museum of American Jewish History. The King's Speech, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 1. Perhaps those are all of the topics in that article from Newsweek. And then Hive continues, Shiva, CERN, WHO, BG, and BHO. I think I would... Honey, what's wrong? What's going on? She just scratched her eye, I think.
Oh, no.
But so what is BG? Oh, Bill Gates. And then Barack. Okay, then we got that. All right, sweet. So, yeah, like Method said, guys, this is only an hour program, and we're already 17 minutes into it, so we got to...
Yeah, and Q's not stopping. So we'll just try to hold on to the cape and keep going.
Might not be able to do any of the stories we thought we were going to do.
Which is fun.
So then the next post from 147, it says, it's a Fox News video, and it says, be informed, Boris, think for yourself, trust yourself. Let's get that opened up. And it's Dr. Oz explaining the significance of South Dakota's HDQ drug trial. So, did you watch this already, Methods?
No, we found out that he was posting 5 minutes before the show, so we didn't get a chance to watch it. I'm sure a lot of y'all have watched it, but it's just something that I haven't gotten into yet.
All right, so Dr. Oz is, I don't know what to think about this guy, but he has been one of those voices of reason in this whole situation. And he's talking about the importance of this hydroxychloroquine testing phase so that they can show that it works and they can get it out to people. They're obviously, acting like they don't know that it works, but, that's total BS. I had a nurse send me a white paper from like 2008 where they had already done the testing. They already know about the efficacy of this drug, specifically on this sickness, specifically. So Dr. Oz is just saying that, it's a good thing we're doing this because then I believe it's going to smash the mainstream media narrative and they're not going to be able to continue to decry the use of it. Obviously, their talking points are to support the people who are working against the president and the country. They want everyone to wait for, the big shot, 18 months before they have that developed because the money's in the treatment. It's not in the cure. Not the cure. They don't want the cure.
Well, we also had, Tom Hanks' wife come out and say, I got really, really sick while taking the medication.
Oh, did she?
And that's, yeah. That's the talking point that she could make about it. Because, unfortunately, she didn't die for the narrative, I guess. I don't know from the medicine. But a lot of people pointing out on Twitter, which I thought was brilliant, was, well, you lived through it. And now you're over it. So if you just happen to get sick, I mean, isn't that the victory, right?
Exactly.
She's better now. But, they can't have it. It's just that's how dark and sinister these people are. And, if you can't wrap your head around the mindsets of these people, it's because you have a soul and you care. And so, yeah, man, it's just a mess that they're pushing that kind of narrative because we're talking literal lives in the balance. But then again, they let people cry on their deathbeds saying that they don't want to die before they see Mueller's report, so Trump can be brought to justice. And that was some guy's final words. You remember that? Like it was when the Mueller report happened. Yeah. Some guy's final, and I know we're laughing about somebody dying. I hate it, tragic for the family and all that. But he literally said on his deathbed, I don't want to die. The Mueller report's not out yet.
Oh, my gosh. I can't believe it.
That's how the that's how bad it is, right? I mean, and it's we can laugh at it to a degree, but it is tragic. That's how bad the manipulation is. So for the fact that they're even willing to do this with life or death of people's grandparents, people that buy these, buy this narrative, it's just a problem.
It makes me laugh because I wonder like how legitimate that is. That sounds like something someone wrote. Like, what if we said, that this guy's on his deathbed and he doesn't want to go until he gets to read the Mueller report? I mean, like, it's just kind of ridiculous. Like, who says that? Like, I want to, I don't know. There's so many other things that you could do before you pass away. Let me just say thank you to Grayanon, Rise and Shiners, PSB, love what you're doing. 07 Patriots, we love PSB too. Thanks, Grayanon. Navy Vet says, Patriots, after watching Quarantime, jump over to George News on YouTube and watch The Presser. Patriots in that chat are close to POTUS team. Well, very cool. Okay. Willard Cannon says, great job, guys. Thanks for your efforts to wake up the world. Where we go one, we go all. In Iowa, movement is strong in Iowa. Glad to hear it. And Flor Riccio, good friend of the program. What's up, Flor? Took a drive in the city, needed to get out. Filmed the empty Central Park and Javits Center. This is where our wasted tax money went to. Also think Chris Cuomo saw the Family Connection on social media and it freaked him out. Yeah, Chris Cuomo has had a bit of a break from reality. Like he's having a kind of a mental breakdown because there is plenty happening with him. We're going to go over maybe some of that later on if we get the time. But moving on to the next post, we've got 3965, always under attack. And Anon asks, I am same as you, Q, always having to go to Tor. Are we under attack? And our favorite Anon responds, always. Then we've got post 39.
Well, that's to the explanation because I saw people in the chat talking about that's the Tor thing I was saying earlier.
Yep.
It's just a different way to go through, and Q's just signing in using Tor, and that's why he's able to still use the trip code.
Yep.
On that. But if I were to sign in using Tor and Red Pill were to, and we'd post, we would be having the same post count. But yeah, that's just it. That's what Tor means. You don't need to decode what TOR means or whatever. That's what the Anon's talking about.
Okay, so look at Charles Pixley. Shiva statue, or Shiva is not female and is equivalent of our father. The statue image is misrepresented by the mainstream media. Shiva dances on corpse of the evil god of wealth and will not be misrepresented. Their own destruction will follow. Okay, well, thank you for that, Charles. I guess I don't know much about it. All I know is what I read in that interpretation. Let's see. So the next post is important to understand. This must be done by the book. And Anon says, you have to sense the tension building, 17. It's becoming a tinderbox. I can totally relate to that. And it says, imagine if we weren't here. While difficult, it is important to understand this must be done by the book. Average people must be able to digest and accept, factually, events. FISA lead-in, stage 1, act 1. Bad actors had to be removed. That's been done. Good actors had to be installed. That's been done. Sleepers had to be uncovered. We are ready. Think Barr public. And this is a great point. So obviously last week we had Bill Barr come out talking about the severity of what took place. He called it a travesty of justice. He did not use that term lightly. I talked about it in depth yesterday on the video. This is a big deal, okay? Bill Barr has remained impartial. He's stated that he just wants to get to the bottom of things, but now he's really commented on how difficult this was for the country and how deep this ran. So I do believe that we are on the verge of seeing some major things happen. I'm not going to give anybody a timeline, but I think that the importance of Barr's comments cannot be overstated.
Right. I mean, he's very reserved because he knows that the media is just going to vulture every word he says, take it apart. Remember when he used the word spy during the hearing, and they went nuts. They lost. How dare you say they were spying? And then even through the Horowitz report, we found out, by the way, they were spying. So the fact that Barr came out and even had like the descriptive words, called it a travesty. He said they tried to, I don't use the wrong word, but essentially subvert the presidency. I can't remember, sabotage, because that's the word he used, was sabotage. The fact that he's saying those kind of things so bluntly after, when we watched him the year before, like, I want to look into this to see what's happening. I believe there may have been spying. That's as far as he went. And now he's talking in such a descriptive manner. And then we find out that Durham has been sending out subpoenas for grand juries. And if you caught the way that it was said through Solomon, it wasn't just in D.C. There's other locations that are having grand juries happen as well, which I think is very smart to not have all the eggs in one basket and in control, because we know how swampy DC can be.
Mm-hmm.
So having these things happen at once. So when our favorite Anon here says we are ready, think Bar Public, the fact that Bar's willing to come out and talk when we know the media is going to try to rip them apart lets you know that they've reached a certain phase in what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right. Arkansas Honey says, Arnet is down in some places in Arkansas. Cautious Observer says, Dear Rita Wilson, I'm sorry. Who knew the house arrest and an ankle monitor was a side effect of HCQ? Mike Q says, God bless us all. Keep it up. God bless us all. God wins. Sending you all prayers, love and light in Jesus' name. Thank you very much, Mike. Appreciate you. And Crunch Munch says, sent link for the SBA fraud Schumer. Rock on. Oh, yeah, I think I saw your email come through. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. Let me do a refresh on the page, and yeah, we have to keep going here. All right, so the next post, these people are pure evil, 3967. Oh, this is beautiful, guys. I want you to see this. So we have this picture of the flag with the sun shining through, and it's making a cross, and Anon says, just like our favorite Anon and Q Plus put on that armor of God, patriots, keep praying. In the end, God wins. Where we go one, we go all. And the post is, these people are pure evil. This is not about politics. You are ready. Yeah, this is about so much more than just politics, you guys. The politics is the public face of it. But there is a lot going on behind the scenes. I mean, we are talking about people who are pure evil and who use politics and this physical world to gain whatever they want in a dark spiritual sense. This is a very dangerous game, and that's the truth. These people are going to be willing to do whatever it takes to remain in power. But luckily, over the course of the last 4 years behind the scenes, POTUS and the team have been working behind the scenes to get this house of cards pulled down, and I'm waiting to see what happens next, guys. But there's been a lot that's happened over the last couple of years. I'm really excited. I'm ready for the next phase. Methods, what do you think?
Right, and I like how our favorite Anon went from we are ready to you are ready, because we are a part of what needs to be there. Think about how many things we forced into the public, or the narrative controls, or the Abramovich video being taken down by Microsoft, by us doing what we do. We're referred to in so many different situations. They say those people on the internet. I caught a clip, and I should have shared it with you, from Joe Rogan talking to a comedian, and they were talking about Biden having the nomination, and they were like they couldn't even wrap their heads around Biden really winning. And the guest on the show said, this is why those people on the internet are saying all the crazy things that they are, because these politicians and how they're acting, you don't know what to believe anymore. And that guy, being a liberal, if I remember seeing some other clips, hates Trump, was even making the point that there's all this noise happening that we create. So to bring it back around what I'm talking about, we are so vitally important, because the communications are happening through social media, and then in turn your communications happening with your family and friends. So we need to be able to take these things apart and say this stuff. And I know some people are falling off, the situation, losing faith, all those things. More power to them. We love you all the same. But with that said, we are going to keep going with this, and that a new fire is going to be completely lit as Barr makes anything happen, or Durham makes anything happen. You're going to see a lot of, I believe, a lot of old faces come back around and be excited and ready to go, and we'll, welcome them with open arms and move forward, because this is that important.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I saw someone in the chat ask me where I get my vape juice. I honestly have a bunch of different flavors that I use, and I kind of like switch it up, because if you use the same thing over and over, you lose the flavor. It doesn't work anymore. So quite honestly, there are many different places online where you can get it, but I will tell you, Cajun Vapes down in Louisiana, they watch the program, and they have excellent vape juice, so you can check them out. Other than that, I encourage you to maybe try to go to a local vape shop so that you can actually see and perhaps test different flavors. You need to figure out which kind you like, because there are so many different places to get it. I've said before that my absolute favorite vape company is Wet Liquids. It's because of the flavors they have. There is blood orange and raspberry, and then blackberry. I love those two. There's also this one that I like, Juice Head. It is pineapple grapefruit. I love that flavor. And usually what I just do is I search for those brands and then best price. And then I just find the place where I can get it on sale that week because the prices are always fluctuating. But Hey Jude says, Tomahawk is done. I sent the photo to your email. Yeah, definitely. I saw the pictures from you and then also from Red Pill's Warhawk, and it looks great. I can't wait to have him make tomahawks for other people, and then they can send me the pictures. I will show the picture in the 6 p.m. broadcast. All right, so then the next one, title to be determined still, but an Anon says, I suspect there are still a ton of sleepers, like Paul Ryan et al. And the post says, do you think it was Paul Ryan's choice to step down? Rising star in the Republican Party, Speaker of the House, age. Do you think it was Senator Flake's choice to step down? And then we have a series of periods. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Don't know if that means that there are 11 more sleeper agents that they need to take out, or if there's 11 people that have already been asked to leave. What do you think about that, Methods?
Well, as far as the periods go, that's going to fall into that whole speculation thing. And if anybody says that they have it figured out, just take it with a grain of salt. Could be the right idea, could be just a great idea.
Yeah.
But those kind of things, I'll wait to see if it happens to fall in line. Let's say, what if Trump were to tweet with that same amount of periods later? It would explain it.
Sure.
But pointing out, the removal of people, kind of like how our favorite Anon said recently, pointing out all the different departments that people stepped out on. So the fact that they're pointing out these things and saying, do you think that they had a choice? Well, of course they didn't, because you could see, if y'all remember what Flake went through and the vote for what was it, the Kavanaugh vote?
Yeah.
Was that what Flake was dealing with? And he's like, yeah. Whatever that vote was, it was interesting to see that there is a lot of control strings being pulled on both sides, good and bad, kind of like how they made Comey come out and say they were reopening the investigation into Hillary right before the election.
Yeah.
That had to have been white hats pushing him in that direction with whatever control they had. But yeah, that's just the point it's bringing up. And I know that there is another post, but it hasn't been pulled over to the aggregator yet. Let me see if it's, because I'm looking at it on the boards.
Sue Randall just said, give Simone some love. Yeah, she was crying for me over on the printer, so I went and picked her up so that I could rub her.
You got a printer in your bunker, man? That's top shelf.
Hey, man, you never know when you got to print a PDF off.
Right.
Helps for research.
Well, I can just read it because it hasn't been pulled over yet. An Anon posted the infamous black drop Q proof that I think a particular Anon makes it with the same font. Showing the side-by-side, and he's got a side-by-side going of a Gateway Pundit about the Solomon thing, subpoenaing witnesses, and then showing the Q post for 3784 talking about the same thing about Durham and grand jury material. And then our favorite Anon responds with, we are far beyond the need of proofs. You have more than you know. Durham start, 17 OP start, operation start, and then 5x5 with a question mark. That right there, the whole Durham connection to when our favorite Anon started alone is a very, very great proof.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, to be quite honest, I feel the evidence is overwhelming. I mean, we're literally just waiting for this announcement, for I don't know if Durham's going to have a press conference with Barr, or if they're going to, announce it beforehand, or if people are just going to, start getting taken down. But I would imagine that once these indictments are unsealed, there's probably going to be, an arrest or two, and we're going to see some major stuff happening. So I'm very, very excited, guys. Anybody who is on the brink of losing their faith, I want us to please pray for these people, because many of us out there are really struggling with what's going on right now. The length of time and it's happened. People have lost a lot of money. People are losing businesses, but it's going to come back. And again, it may not be in the way that it was before, but we're going to recover, and we need to all be there for each other. So
absolutely. Well, we have another post. I mean, I don't know if the aggregator's having a problem, but it's just another. He's kind of like doing a Q&A right now.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool. Anon asked, when will our voice and vote matter again? And the response was, it does now, Patriot, more than ever. Think 2016, think 2020, think of the world awakening.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, I like these moments because, I mean, 17 used to do this back before, when the Anons were getting to know, who 17 is, and it's just really, really cool to be back at that and to kind of see these conversations happen.
Yeah, that's awesome. Slipster's videos said stimulus checks. Yes, many people got stimulus checks last night, guys, and people in the audience, I hope that you're among those people. It didn't happen for me. Many others that are close to me did say that they got them. I know that it's essential that those are deposited into your bank accounts. Apparently, if you filed for your taxes with direct deposit of your refund, then you should be among those who are getting that. Casey Anon says there are spaces between the periods, Morse code. Okay, so yeah, 3 dots, 3 dots, 3 dots, and then 2 dots. It's SSSEE. Yeah, I mean, I've often wondered whether or not it was a Morse code, but the SSSSEE doesn't make any sense to me. So if somebody else can decode that, I appreciate it. Methods, can you take the helm for just a moment? I'll be right back.
Yeah, we've got another post, so I'll just kind of go on that. Okay. Yeah, it's just a random post by our favorite Anon, and it's ... space ... and frogs to destroy them, period. And I love that. I mean, I'm gonna look up to see exactly where that quote from. It reminds me of the Bible post about the frogs, but I'm gonna just search that real quick since we're hanging out while Red Pill does whatever he's doing. Yeah, it's from the Bible, Psalm 78:45. He sent swarms of insects to bite them and frogs to destroy them. So that's awesome, the fact that the quote's happening and how we've adopted Pepe the Frog as being, the mascot of this situation. It's really cool to see how these things play out to be, parallel with stuff from whether it be the Bible or, just other belief systems in general. But with that said, I know he talked about, and I'm actually interested about this. Give me a 1 if you've gotten your stimulus check. Give me a 2 if you haven't yet. I'd be really interested to see that. I meant to ask that when he brought it up.
Okay, I'm back. What did I miss?
Well, I've got them on a 1 if they got their stimulus check, 2 if they haven't. And the favorite Anon, I know I've already said that letter multiple times, was the quote from the Bible, and the frogs to destroy them. He sent swarms of insects to bite them and frogs to destroy them. That's the only
Pepe is coming.
Right. Yeah. So we pointed, we just did a little quick search because I thought it was from that for sure, but I didn't want to quote wrong. All right. I'm seeing mixed numbers across the board.
All right. Well, I want to move on to the protest. Remember, guys, I said yesterday that there was going to be a protest in the capital city of the state of Michigan, Lansing, Michigan. Well, apparently it's on, and the streets are packed. We've got all kinds of pictures here on the Gateway Pundit. Here is somebody's Ford, and they have a sign that says freedom is essential. Hundreds of thousands of Michigan citizens, business owners, and conservatives are protesting today in the city. We've got some video also from our friend Speaker 2018, and I'm just looking for that tweet right here. Here we go. So hang on just a second. We're going to watch this video, and if you guys don't know who Speaker is, I'm going to go ahead and drop a link directly to this tweet so that you can follow Speaker on Twitter because he is a quality account.
Yeah, he's been around for a hot minute. I mean, he's OG when it comes to this movement, and he works really hard. He's on a different time zone than all of us for the most part. So he's around in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Good to hang out.
He says, Michigan Patriots protest against Democratic Governor Half Whitmer. It's kicking off. Seems like a party. Let's go ahead and watch.
Lansing in front of the state capitol, a big rally. It was supposed to start at noon, but as you can see, it started right now. Protesting Governor Whitmer's orders, executive orders. Lots and lots of cars, lots of protesters, not particularly following the stay-at-home order or the keeping the distance orders, but a lot of flags, there you go. A lot of Trump signs, as you can see there. And these people are organized, they're loud, and they don't like the governor. As you can see right there. Lansing in front of it.
Impeach Whitmer. Gotta love it. Okay, so then he's got some additional photos here from Fox Business, Operation Gridlock, apparently it's called. You gotta love it, guys. Gotta love the people of the state of Michigan not having Governor Half-Whitmer's executive orders. She's doing crazy stuff, like not allowing stores that are open to sell certain items, not allowing worship in churches, I think I read. Was that in Michigan where people were not allowed to sing if they did have a church service? Also, allowing canoes on lakes, but not allowing speedboats or sailboats. Just
something like the seeds.
Yeah,
you know, and I mean,
seeds. That's it. No seeds.
It's a mess, and I mean, and when you look at her, and I mean, there's a lot of words I could use that I won't, because this channel's family friendly.
Yeah.
But you could see that kind of sinister look in her face, that half smirk that she's got. And she gave out because they're out there protesting, honking those horns outside her office.
Yeah.
And she just said, well, all we ask is that you do the social distancing. You could protest, that's fine. We're not going to listen to you. But I mean, that's essentially what she's doing here. But you could just see it across her face. Like, she loves it. She loves the attention. It's just, so I'm really glad that they are doing this, because that's how you protest something when your state level is going too far. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it needs to be done.
Mm-hmm. So I've seen people say $1,000 fines. She's not allowing people to fish. No buying of flags. No homeschooling. Really? I mean, what are kids supposed to do if they're not allowed to go to school? Why would we want to stop the education they're receiving in their own homes from their parents who have the skills to do it? I saw that there was a protest in Ohio yesterday as well. And Ozark Lightning says ships signals exploitation equipment. That is SSEE. Let's see. And I'm definitely seeing a lot of people saying that the aggregators are not working properly. I did see the post that came up. Oh, we've got 3 that popped up here. We are beyond the need for proofs, but you have more than you know. Durham start. Queue up start 5x5, and then when will our voice and vote matter again? It does now. Patriot more than ever. Think 2016, think 2020, think of the world awakening, and frogs to destroy them. I have to say, that's obviously a dual reference, not only to the Bible, but also to our movement as well. And that's why I always include Pepe on the cards for Quarantime. I also saw no flooring. You can't buy flooring, so no home improvement.
Yeah, no paint.
Yeah, no paint.
I mean, who does that, unless you are a dictator, megalomaniac.
Yeah.
Just running with your power.
Oh, and apparently Half-Wit is on Biden's shortlist for VPs. Ooh, that's interesting. Let's see what else we have here.
Used to be a deep dive into her history, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, protest in North Carolina as well. Let's see. Dave Kalenda says, I grew up in Michigan. I'm ashamed. Yeah, I know what you mean, man. That's my home state, too. So, but I think that there are many Michiganders out there who are ashamed of what she's doing now. But maybe it's an opportunity for everybody who's from Michigan to move back to Michigan and to make the state great again. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's see what else we got. Sue Randall says, yeah, she's a possible VP pick. Ashley Lime says, once awake, it's hard to file taxes and enable the fraud. Godspeed, Patriots. And then thanks again to KC Anon. Old Duffer says, the night is darkest just before the dawn. And Patriot 77, I love staying comfy with Red Pill and M3thods. Oh, you'll never live it down. I love it.
It won't happen.
Thanks for all you do, guys. Well, thank you guys for being here with us. I appreciate it.
Real quick before we jump on anything, we got over 5,400 people hanging out with us. 1.8 thousand likes is what I'm seeing. Let's get that number jumped up, guys. We really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Help us break through the algorithms.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of people saying that their chats keep sticking. I mean, definitely that's some work on behalf of the YouTube gods, unfortunately. But all you got to do is refresh your page usually, and everything starts working again. But okay, so I wanted to talk next about the reason that we are in this situation that we're in. because I had mentioned the other day, President Trump mentioned the other day that two very intelligent people, he called them, told him that if we didn't shut the country down, 2.2 million Americans would lose their lives. Well, Dr. Fauci has admitted that it was him and bricks. And when President Trump said that, I was like, there's only two people that it could be. I mean, you've got these two people leading this task force along with Vice President Pence. Obviously, it was them, and he admitted it. He admitted that he and Burks were the two experts who persuaded Trump to kill the economy with their garbage predictions. Now, the direct quote from President Trump, the big projection being that 2.2 million people would expire if we did nothing. That was another decision we made. Close it up. That was a big decision that we made. Two very smart people walked into my office and said, listen, these are your alternatives. And that was a projection of 1.5 to 2.2 million people would pass if we didn't close it up. That's a lot of people. So President Trump, I hope that now that you've seen that these projections were garbage and that this was completely overblown, please do something about it. He's said recently that they are very close to having a plan to reopen the country, restart the economy. It's something that's desperately needed. There are so many Americans out there who need this economy to start back up, and I really hope that he starts listening to people with some actual information. Now, something tells me President Trump was aware of these people and their allegiances, shall we say. I think it's pretty obvious that President Trump has a habit of allowing these people to give bad advice. So then he can go ahead and say, well, you're garbage. I'm not going to take your advice anymore because once it's proven to the American public, we don't want to stand for these people to make these kinds of decisions for us anymore. I think that it's very important to allow President Trump to run his administration the way that he sees fit because it's genius. Every time that something like this happens, President Trump goes ahead and does the right thing. Now, Chris Pick says when Mike Robinson and Barry move back to Kenya, they're going to struggle for some quality pizza. Can't imagine how many hot dog stands on quarters either. Yeah, they're going to be eating a lot of bushmeat. Our Cloaked Unseen World, thank you for that. And Gino says, you can smoke grass, but you can't cut it here in Michigan. That's hilarious. Are you not able to mow your own lawns in Michigan?
I saw that report.
Oh, yeah. Lord, that is horrible. What a thing. What a thing to shut down mowing of your lawns. And think about how many kids are out there, getting extra money by walking their neighborhoods and cutting the grass. I mean, she's really doing everything she can to completely destroy the economy, isn't she? The next thing I wanted to talk about, I mentioned this a little bit in the prelude. Chris Cuomo, he's had that little meltdown. We talked about it here yesterday. But it's worse. He actually got into an altercation with a Long Island man. Now, this is not the first time Chris Cuomo has gotten into it with someone in the real world, and I find it very ironic that his meltdown on the radio was about how he would like to have the opportunity to get into it with people in the real world. And I guess that he threatened a guy on Easter. So this was the day before, well, a day or two before he had the meltdown. So I think that he was saying what he said on his radio program because he already knew what had happened with this guy on Long Island. Now, wait a second. I didn't know that Cuomo had tested positive for CV-19. So he's supposed to be quarantined. But there was a cyclist named David who saw him hanging out with two women on undeveloped property that Chris had bought in his neighborhood. So this guy was riding by. He's a 65-year-old man, and he's, let's see, so the cyclist, a 65-year-old man, is being identified only as David. He filed a police report with the East Hampton Police Department after Cuomo's rant about, the rant was about him. That's right. Okay, so the rant was about him because he feels that he was threatened. So he referred to the guy as a Jack ASS loser fat tire biker. That's what it was. Okay, he just didn't say specifically that he was talking about David, but he was talking directly about him. So, very interesting. Cuomo now has this charge against him. He said he was well over 100 feet from the property, but the women looked like Cuomo's wife came over to him and said, "May I help you?" He said, I'm riding my bike. Then he started asking why Cuomo was there out of quarantine and not social distancing from the group. And then Cuomo started walking towards him. He said, who the HE double hockey sticks are you? I can do what I want. I can do what I want. It reminds me of that kid who stole the SUV from his grandma and went on the joyride.
Right. I mean, come on. We'd expect this. Anybody that watched the video of him and the Fredo altercation that gave him his nickname for life, can see these kind of things happening. I mean, these, once again, a word I'm not going to use on the show, but so I'm not surprised about it. And I'm not surprised that he's doubling down and talking trash about his job too.
Yeah,
it's the kind of thing that, like, this is where, like, karma or whatever you want to believe in is kind of coming back around on this guy.
Well, listen to this. It gets worse. He said, who the HE double hockey sticks are you? I can do what I want. He said, I'll find out who you are. This is not the end of this. You'll deal with this later. We will meet again. That is a direct threat. He's truly losing it. Fredo is snapped. All right. So Marty Cannon says, I believe Fauci is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Absolutely. Fauci doesn't have a good bone in his body.
Well, here's the thing about it is, like, regardless, like, even a lot of Trump supporters have no faith in him, whether he's actually trying to do the right thing or he's controlled or he's Hydra. Or the same thing with Birx. Like, there's so much lack of faith in these people. It doesn't really even matter at this point, right? Like, if they were to let him go, nobody would be upset, but here we are. And like you said earlier, sometimes he just lets people give advice that he's just going to do what he's going to do anyways. But he just kind of puts them as potted plants. So then, because he had them deal with the media, and then they're going to disappear after this stuff goes on, right? Like, we're not going to be dealing with them anymore.
Yep. All right, so his mercy on we, amen. I have figured out Twitter and this live stuff. My whole fam watches you, Red, and you give us all hope. God bless you and President Trump. Where we go one, we go all, from Somerset, Kentucky. Well, his mercy, I'm so happy to have you and your family here. Thanks for watching, everybody. We've got 5,669 people watching and 2.5 thousand likes. Anybody out there who has not yet liked, I would appreciate one of those. Adam14041 says, listening at work. Adam, glad you're here. Dave Kalenda says, no charcoal grill sales in Michigan either. Another insane idea. You're stuck at your house. Why would you not want to grill up a beautiful steak? Come on. Michael Curiel says, blue pills are out of stock. With all the distractions gone, President Trump is cutting up red pills and handing them out daily. Dosages will increase. I like that one. Audrey Mancuso says, we all need to get out of there. Thank you, Michigan, for leading the way. President Trump needs us. I think that we just need to focus on making sure that Governor Whitmer isn't elected, because if all the good people leave Michigan, guys, then it's going to be taken over again by the Dems, and that's definitely not what we want. We want to make sure that Michigan stays red in 2020. Our Cloaked Unseen World says, a famous prophet of science looks into the future. Read article 17 patent on video, full body teleportation system patent by John Q. Have 3 patents on video. I'll check it out if you send it to me in my email. Son of a green card, what's up, brother? He says, thanks, RP and M3, for stimulating the ears and minds of so many around the world, both here and on Twitter. Thank you. It's my honor to be here. Patty Patriot says, who let Puppy Fredo out of the basement? Yeah, I don't know. He's supposed to be on quarantine. He's not supposed to be out like that. Certainly not social distancing with 2 ladies on his arms. Tony Oface, True Pundit interviewed RFK Jr. today, and he dropped a pile on Fauci and Birx. That seems like it would be a good article. I would like to look at that. Looney Tune says, was able to log in to 5/3, $1,200. Oh, Fifth Third, $1,200 was deposited. Awesome. Glad to hear it, dude. Bruce Wayne says, sue Michigan governor, violates civil liberties, eBay, Pkwy Trump pin. All right, sweet. I would, there are a number of Pkwy and Trump memes out there. A pin is a great idea. All right, so we also wanted to talk about Joe Biden. So now Joe Biden is firmly the dim nominee for president. We had Barry come out and support him. We had Bernie come out and support him. And then Methods, you said that Warren has also now officially come out to support him.
Yeah, right before the show started, they had it on the bottom ticker that she's now officially, which you could see that coming. I mean, she screwed over Bernie, got Biden in there to where he needed to be. And then now she's endorsing. So it just makes complete sense.
Well, and now that Joe has the full nomination and the support of all the former Democratic contenders, He is expressing support for expanding Medicare eligibility to Americans 60 and older and calling for new efforts to forgive student loans. So he's taking on the pillars of Sanders' platform, trying to move as far to the left as possible. But it's not enough. It's not enough for the Bernie bros. It's not enough for the Democratic Socialists. They're not going to support him. Now, I tend to think that it's going to be a far cry for those people to vote for President Trump. But I think what it means is that they're just not going to vote at all. They're gonna sit this one out. The Bernie bros are not happy that Bernie has thrown his support behind Democratic nominee Biden.
Yeah, absolutely. And to get to where we wanted to go with this, the Hunter Biden is back in the news because it broke yesterday that he's still on that Chinese board. What was it, HBR or something like that? I can't remember. Yeah, no, BHR, excuse me. Yep. BHR Partners, when his lawyer said he promised back in October that he would late last year that he was going to walk away from it. And now he's still there, still working with all that stuff. So I know there's been a bunch of digs on these different groups and stuff he's been involved in, but I'm be curious. And I was kind of digging a little bit earlier because somebody kind of put the idea in my head. If there's any connection with BHR that somehow at least can a couple degree away with the same bad actors to where the Kung Flu came from. That would be very interesting to see, so if anybody's looking for something to dig on, that's what I'm looking into right now. To see if something's going on there. But we have that going on, and then the report about how they want to put out the report on Hunter Biden and the Burisma stuff from the Senate this summer. And it was also we were reminded about remember the attorney that got put over the Giuliani findings?
Yeah.
Scott Brady.
Yes.
Isn't it interesting that we get that report, I think it was 2 months ago, almost to the day, that he's overseeing all of Giuliani and other people turning in stuff from Burisma. We get that one of the main people, I can't remember his name, Teleshenko, I think it was, is a witness, ended up showing up in New York on a Giuliani podcast around the same time. And then now we haven't heard a word about it.
It's because they've been working.
Right, and Giuliani handed that Trapper Keeper over fully color-coded, ready to rock for him, and spoon-fed all the information to him because Giuliani likes to talk.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to see. So keep an eye out for any reports about Scott Brady because he's a bulldog. He's like Durham. He's a no-nonsense kind of guy. He likes justice to fit the crime. So that's something I'm looking out for.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it too. Like I said yesterday, like I say often, there is so much that's happening behind the scenes. We are not privy to the machinations of the government, to the Department of Justice. I know that many people are used to the idea of leaks and this lack of secrecy in our government when it comes to certain things, very important things. But this is potentially the most important investigation of the modern era. And like our favorite Anand said, it must be done by the book. They can't afford to do it business as usual, the way that the Dims and the Cabal and the Deep State and whatever you want to call them, whatever they've done for the last several generations here in America. They can't afford to do it that way. They have to do it the right way. And that's the only way that we're going to restore this country and bring these people to justice. Just need to say thank you to Abigail Puggle. Lindsey Graham posted faith and praise for Bill Gates, wants him to run the WHO. I saw that, and I thought that was a low blow on behalf of Lindsey, but I gotta be honest, I'm not too surprised. I think that although Lindsey has, certainly been reined in, I think he's probably got a couple of cards in his back pocket, and he's still somebody we need to keep an eye on. Jennifer Ford 327, Michigan is a great example of how the Dims will act if we give away our liberties through socialism. Wake up. That's very much the case. That's why I'm saying that I don't want people who have very intelligent brains to leave the state of Michigan. I think it's important for us to use those brains and take back our state and definitely get rid of Governor Half-Whitmer. Rebecca Nicholas posted a microphone. Thank you, Rebecca. EO2 Dave says, trust Trump. I don't think he's ever been wrong. I don't think he's ever been wrong either, and this is something that, I work on here on a daily basis. I am a cheerleader for the president because I believe that every move he's ever made has been correct, and even though he is working, there is always the forces of evil working against us. Methods, anything else that you want to bring to the audience here? We've got just a minute left.
No, not really. I think we covered a lot of it. I mean, of course, our favorite Anon shows up and kind of, we love it, but it did take away some of the things that we wanted to talk about, but that's fine. I like going through them, like I said earlier, with everybody. So I just like to thank everybody for hanging out with us again. Another show in the books, man.
All right. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate y'all being here. Lily Raven says, love you guys. I watch every day. Thank you very much for being here. As always, guys, absolutely love you. Good luck and God bless. I will be back at 6 p.m. or roughly for your daily news roundup, and I look forward to seeing you there. And then we will catch you tomorrow at 2 p.m. for another episode of Quarantime. Thanks, Methods, for being here, and we'll see you guys soon.
Much love, everybody.